Danny come up with this. Danny, what do you think a common fear or objection, it might be one of the things I just listed, but a common fear or objection that chiropractors have, or maybe something that needs to be clarified in what we do, that you could share and then Emily can speak to as far as like her perspective on it?
So a common objection or fear with chiropractors, I mean, space, staffing. How are we going to train? How am I going to learn all this? How am I going to learn this and then train my staff?
How about training wise then? Talk about the training thing and then go through a line of questioning with Emily. Let's see where this goes as far as how she got trained, how she learned, and then maybe even like we can reflect and point out like how much you know right now without really having a big background in exercise. So that's a common one. You know, people are like, oh my gosh, does my person have to be like a kinesiology major and work as a personal trainer for 10 years?
No.
Yeah.
Okay. I had no background coming into this job. Like certified nursing assistant, that's all I had. I had maybe a little bit of experience in like kinesiology, but that was from high school. And so, not going to lie to you, I'm not the greatest in school. I didn't really pass. Anatomy wasn't my strongest subject. But when I started learning this stuff, anatomy made way more sense because like now I was actually doing stuff with it to make it make more sense. And that's just how my brain functions. Like you can't just give me a book and be like, here, learn all the 18 muscles or whatever muscles that we need to work with and teach me an exercise. No, I can't do that. You have to show, it's a monkey see, monkey do.
So think back to when you first came into the clinic. Whoa, I hit the spring. I don't know if you heard that. It was like high pitched noise. When you first came into the clinic, when you first started with us, you started in traction, right?
Yep.
Okay. Which we're kind of figuring out, I think is like a good starting point for people, start in traction. So for those of you chiropractors out there that are not doing corrective care in office traction, this might not apply to you, but we do chiropractic biophysics. We have spine remodeling traction. And even though there's a lot of specifics to it, it's a good place for people to start and get familiar with anatomy and understand the systems and the setup. So how long were you in traction before you ventured into exercise?
I think a good 2 or 3 weeks. And then...
So it was quickly you went to exercise.
It was quick because I started in May. I think by the end of May, we had brought up the idea of me going back to exercise. Danny was like, how would you feel? And I was like, cool, let's do it. And then slowly in between, days and shifts, I would train back and exercise with our 2 other exercise therapists.
So David was back there at the time?
David and Audrey at the time.
And
David
Audrey was getting ready to leave. Like he had, probably 3 more weeks of his half days in there. And then right after that, Audrey was going to go to Spain. So it was kind of like...
Yeah, it was a pretty quick... And I mean, I picked it up. It was just like, because I've never learned, it was the fact that I had to learn how to teach someone how to do an exercise. And so I'd never done that before. So it was like me learning the exercise and then David explaining to me kind of the background of like, here's why we teach this exercise and here's why we do it. And here's how you show it to them. And here's all like the different modifications. So that stuff I picked up on pretty quickly. The movement assessments that we do took me a little bit just because there's so many things we look for, but now they're one of my favorite things to do in the clinic.
You guys trained on a weekend too, privately, didn't you?
Yeah, we did. The biggest thing that was still catching me off guard was postural correctives, how to teach those and why we do them. So we came in on a Saturday. You volunteered to do a Saturday with me, and so I think we recorded. It was like an hour long. Yeah,
and it's something we actually put on our YouTube channel. It's on it's on our patient YouTube channel. So it's on Gonstead Spine and Wellness on. So for those in the audience that want to try to find it, go to Gonstead Spine and Wellness, and you'll go back and there is a picture of me and Emily. And it was called like postural corrective exercises done right or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if that rings a bell.
Which is funny that we bring that up because after the impact seminar, probably a month later, one of the girls that I was talking with was asking me about those. So I rerouted her to our YouTube. I was like, we've done a video on this. Like, go reference this video. And so I sent it to her and she was like, thank you so much. That was so helpful. I'm like, yeah, it was to me at the time too, because once we did that, that was just kind of like the last little piece to the puzzle that I needed. And then everything, I mean, it went smoothly while she was gone because everything just made sense finally.
Yeah.
I just needed that last little piece to click.
Yeah, no, that's a great thing about doing videos. That video is it's evergreen. You can use it over and over and over again. So part of the reason we're doing these podcasts is we're going to cover some topics that we'll be able to reference to other chiropractors when they have a question. They'll say, hey, so how do you train someone up? We'll be like, watch episode 2, whatever, where Emily was on with us. Thanks for watching this clip from the MoveNow Chiropractor podcast. And be sure to join our free Facebook group, Functional Movement for Chiropractors, to learn more about how MoveNow University can help you with your systems and your clinical practice. Be sure to watch our 30-minute pre-recorded demo at demo.movenowu.com. Thanks for hanging out with us, and we'll see you on the next one.